Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting edition of Psychic Sundays Live with your host, the Queen of Ooga Booga, Psychic Sally Diane. How you doing tonight, Sally?
I am doing great, and I wanted to say happy birthday to Mark from Haunting Live Podcast. We were at his birthday party today. It was a lot of fun. We saw a lot of our friends there. Marcy was there. Hi, Marcy. It was so nice to see you in person. We always have a good time when we get together, and it kind of got me thinking about things too. Oh, that's the sound my head makes when I have a thought. Anyhow, so how are you?
I'm still busy setting everything up. So go ahead and entertain everybody.
Oh, I am so very entertaining. And I wanted to talk about, we're going to make a change in the format. I love getting the emails. I absolutely love it. And I hope all of you decide to send an email to me. You see, we're printing them on blue paper right now. And my producer is making the print nice and big so I don't necessarily have to wear my glasses, but I'm going to wear them anyway when I read your emails. Anybody who wants their question asked in the first segment of the show, go ahead and send me an email. But my producer has asked that the deadline for receiving emails be Friday at 7 p.m. so that we have time to get them together, make sure we have everybody's questions, and to print them out. So the new deadline for sending your email to the Queen of Ooga Booga is Friday evening at 7 p.m. And that email address, by the way, is queenofoogaBooga@gmail.com. And I'm sure if it's not on the bottom of your screen, it will be at some time during this broadcast. And we're going to do a little bit of a different format. We're going to start out reading the emails. And then before we get to your questions, I'm going to stick in a little informative segment. Last week it was on smudging. And this week it's going to be on reading coins for simple yes and no questions. So make sure you stay tuned in for that. And then afterwards I will read your questions. And of course, I end it off with the crystal reading for your week. Because we want to get to everybody, we're going to start doing one card per reading. And I know a lot of you asked for general readings. And instead of giving you a general reading, we're going to look at what you need to know most right now. I think that's a single card will express that quite well. So without further ado, let's get to this week's emails. And it looks like I got a few, starting out with Amanda. And Amanda asked for a general reading. And like I said before, we're just going to look at what does Amanda need to know right now. What is it that Amanda needs to know the most? And give it a cut. And there is your answer. Okay, Amanda, and your card is the Ace of Pentacles. And the Ace of Pentacles, when I'm looking at it, it seems to tell this whole story. You are on the precipice of getting some new job opportunities. And know that this is a time, the opportunities that come your way now are going to be the foundation of your future life. And I see that right there, that, just all the things that are in the coin, the prosperity, the fertility, and basically the treasure. Life, you're on a good path. And that you need to know. Have confidence. This is your time. Accept the opportunities that life hands you. Okay, and then the next one is our favorite Virgo Queen. Oh my goodness. Hello, Virgo Queen. And she says, hello, beautiful Queen. And guess what? I say it right back, Virgo Queen. And she wants to know about a vacation coming up in September. She says, so where do you see us going? Vegas or some other place? Well, let's see. Your vacation. September vacation. Okay. Okay, so you have the Six of Swords, but it's the Six of Swords. Oh, yeah, that's right. Um, okay, so I saw this ahead of time and I thought, if it comes up the devil, I'll know it's Vegas because I say Vegas is Sin City. But this one is a Six of Swords reversed, so it's talking about, obstacles falling down and things opening up for you. So you know what? I think it is Vegas. And I think that you should plan carefully around the gambling because one of you is balanced around the gambling tables and the other is not. So kind of have a plan for that. So you guys watch out for each other. You don't want to spend the baby's future, right? Okay, so then Suzanne says, hello, Queen Sally. Well, hello, Suzanne. It's lovely to see you this week. And she has a meeting coming up, and she wants to know, am I on the brink of a change with my position and moving up the ladder? Okay, so Suzanne moving up the ladder. One card. Give that a good cut. That right there. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You have confidence as you move forward. You got the world, and even though it's the world reverse, it says that you can achieve beyond your current expectations. So absolutely, you're taking one step up the ladder, but keep in mind there's more steps after that and more steps after that. So good on you. The world is opening up for you. Embrace it.
Okay. Who's next?
And next is Swaggy Star. And Swaggy Star, and yes, I am doing well. Thank you so much for asking. As for me, I'm trying to figure out why I keep thinking about an ex-love interest. Is there something I'm missing? Okay, Swaggy Star, that's an interesting question. Why does Swaggy Star keep thinking of her ex? What's putting that thought in her mind? Why is she thinking about that? Because you're right, there's got to be a reason for that. Oh, okay. So you get the Ace of Swords, and the word truth just pops into my mind. So it makes me wonder, well, no, I know what it's saying. It's telling me, the cards are telling you that you might not be being honest with yourself. Yeah, with a name like Swaggy Star, you should not settle. And I really think that there's something, when I get this card about honesty, there's something that's saying you're not being honest with yourself. And I don't think it means that you should go back to your ex, because I'm not a big fan of doing that. It's almost always a mistake. But it is a good time for you to ponder what were the issues, what went wrong in that relationship. Because maybe those are the issues that you have in front of you right now and you don't even realize it. Okay? So think about it that way, and I think you might come up with some answers. I know that's not the first time that's come up for you. Now, Wicked Fairy says she's been dreaming of bunnies and snakes. Oh my goodness. She says Google says they're fertility. Well, I'll tell you. Your queen will tell you they are definitely for fertility. They do symbolize fertility. The snake does represent protection too. So it's an interesting combination, and it tells me that this is a time in your life for you to grasp opportunities. But there's also I know the bunnies aren't really as fragile as they appear to be, but there's something there. I get a feeling that it's telling you that you need to be good to yourself and treat yourself a little bit better. But my question for you is, am I getting money unexpectedly and pregnant? And if so, when do these blessings come in for me? Okay, well, the bunnies and snakes. What are the bunnies and snakes bringing Wicked Fairy? Well, there's the name of a story. There's a plot for a story. What are the bunnies and snakes bringing Wicked Fairy? All right. So you get the Ten of Swords, but it's the Ten of Swords reversed. So basically, when you have the Ten of Swords, you got a bunch of knives in your back. But when it's reversed, it's saying that the knives are coming out of your back. And I think it's telling you that you have a more more Wicked Fairy friendly workplace here. I think that you may have had people around you that were deceptive and dishonest, but with the swords falling away, that tells me that the deceptive and dishonest people are drifting away from you. So that gives me the why, which goes along with what the bunnies and snakes are saying, that yeah, you are coming into a period of prosperity. The why is because you're some of the negative people are being removed from your life. So I think you guys are taking care of you, Wicked Fairy. So Fiery Dragon. Fury. Oh, okay. And I have my glasses on. So, hi, Queen. I'd like to ask you what you see being the biggest change for me in the month of August. Well, Fiery Dragon and upcoming changes in August. Okay. Keep wondering, what are you doing to bring change to your life? You know, are you lighting candles? Are you saging? Are you applying for new positions? Because the thing with the winds of change, if you're inviting the winds of change, make sure you give them some direction too. Okay, so the biggest change in August. Love. That's pretty easy. Love. All the huggy, kissy, canoodly stuff. That's going to be the change. And this is a positive card, so that tells me that it gets more it gets more fun. You know, romance is. Okay, so okay. Oh, these are two of the same.
Oh, did it collate and I didn't realize?
Something like that. So we have Patricia. And Patricia wants to know, has decided to take your advice from last week and get a move on things. Well, good. I registered for school to start for September this year. Would that be a good time for me to start up, or wait until January 2022? Well, I've already done enough reading to know you're not supposed to be waiting. Okay, so at this point, where Patricia's gone from the crossroads to one step in one direction, don't you dare go back. And don't you dare look back. Look what happened to Lot's wife. But anyhow, let's see what that step brings her. School. Okay, it's weird because the Eight of Cups is reversed. So it talks about you. I'm worried that school is still you're still circling around and indecision. So there's that warning to make sure that you keep your eye on the prize. You know, you've got a goal here, and so you can't let yourself be distracted. And there will be plenty of distractions for you, but there's a goal and you can definitely achieve it. It's a good evolution for you. It is one about money more than it is about happiness and love. So that's part of your life. You'll have to take care of yourself. But no steps backwards, always a step forward. So let's go to Magical Princess. The Magical Princess says, hello, Queen. I have a family member who's passing away from stage 4 cancer, and my family and I are supposed to go next month to visit and essentially say our goodbyes. My question today is, do you see if we do take this important trip to visit her? Oh my goodness, you know, you will regret it if you don't. You really will. I want to see what the universe has to say to you about your aunt, about the whole situation, because there's all this underlying doubt. And I know sometimes it's easier to bury our heads in the sand, but this isn't about you. This is about her. And she needs to see you one last time. Yeah, you definitely need. You've got the Two of Wands, and it's saying get fiery. The universe is really kind of giving you a tisk, 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 just like me. I know it's hard, and I know it's like it's kind of like if you don't go, you're not going to keep it from happening, but you'll always regret it. So whatever it is that's making you dread going, which I can understand, and whatever it is that's making you look for reasons why you shouldn't go, you've got to silence those voices. This is serious. You have to go. So Pamela wants a reading on finances, and of course you can have a reading on finances. Okay. Wait a second. Not finances. You know what? Because I know that we talked earlier and there was something else you wanted to look at.
Neither one of us remembers, so finances it is.
Well, why don't we try the, let's see what the most important thing you need to know is, okay? What does Pam need to know right now? She certainly has a lot going on in her life. Whoops. And the cards are just flying out for you. This is what you need to know. Well, really, you've got the Page of Coins, but it's a Page of Coins reversed. And I think this is a young one around you. I know that you've got all your stuff that you're dealing with, but the feeling is, it feels like you're kind of balanced and you know the challenges ahead of you. But this is a side issue. This says, you're going to have to put that aside, what you're doing right now, at least for a second, and take a good, strong look at what's happening with one of your little ones. Because this Page of Coins is getting to some of the trouble that escaped your attention. That's what you need to know. So, thank you one and all.
Well, we're done with the emails.
Yes.
On to the live questions.
Well, you forgot.
Oh, are we doing something different?
Yes, we are.
Okay, what are we doing? Yeah. All right, hang on. Let me get... We are ready for you.
Believe it or not, we talked about this.
It's the heat.
Yes, it is. Okay, so, I want to give you guys a little something, not reading, but in the area of metaphysical. Like last week, I talked about alternatives to smudging. And this week, I just want to talk about how you can use coins to get simple yes or no answers. I know everybody knows that if you throw one coin, heads is yes, tails is no. Okay? But there's another one that involves throwing 4 coins. And if you have 4 coins, then you're going to have 5 different states. You're going to have 4 of one. You're going to have 3 of one and 1 of another. 2 and 2. And then 3 and 1 and 4. So what you have here is if you got 4 heads, you threw 4 coins and you got 4 heads, that says all good. If you get 4 tails, that says all bad. Now, the thing with something being all or absolute, it's always an illusion. So when I get all good, it tells me that I'm only seeing the good, and I need to kind of dig a little and see what kind of bad there is that I need to clean up. And if I get all bad, I look at it like you're looking at too negatively, dig around a little bit and find the positive to pull in on. So then let's go to the state where you got 3 of one and 1 of another. That would be the mostly state, and like mostly good. You get 3 heads and 1 tail. mostly good is actually the best one you want, because that's what a good time in life is, where it's almost all good. And of course, there's always a few warts there, right? So then the worst one would be mostly bad, which was 3 tails and 1 head. Okay, and that's time when whatever it is you're doing, you should just kind of turn around and do something else, change direction. We always have free will, we always have the ability to change direction. Then there's a final one where you have 2 heads and 2 tails, and that's just, it's balance. That's so-so. That's meh. Okay, so if you get 2 heads and 2 tails, it's time for you to jazz it up a little bit. It's time for you to wake up a little bit. It's time for you to get a little bit more involved.
And next week there'll be props.
Yes, next week there'll be props. And if there's something that you want me to talk on in this segment of the show, let me know. Write down in the comments. I read the comments afterwards.
Yeah, we had a request for more Ooga Booga.
Yes, and I love doing Ooga Booga because I'm the queen of Ooga Booga. So anyhow, I know that everybody's here.
Yes, and all the regulars are here. We have a lot of newcomers here as well. Welcome everybody.
Oh yes, it's so nice to see newcomers.
A word to the regulars, I might skip over you to get to a newcomer. You'll be back next week.
I'm being quicker, so we're going to try and have time for all of you. Okay, so who's first?
Well, let's see. Selena wants to know about her relationship for the month of August.
Okay, so 1 card, Selena's relationship. Short term, of course. Selena's relationship, how's that doing? All right, you have the world reversed. So that's a really positive card, whether it's right side up or upside down. But it was right side up. It'd say you won the lottery and eloped. But this says August is going to be a pretty good month romantically. You'll probably find that the relationship grows in some way or another, where you grow closer, where there's a few more cords that come, that draw you closer together, which is cool. That's what we want. So August should be a good month. August heats up, and so does your relationship.
Our next question comes from a sweet baby girl.
Sweet baby girl, darling, sweet baby girl. What can I do for you?
Will my boyfriend and I be living together soon?
Okay, so sweet baby girl's living arrangement. Okay, it depends on what you consider soon, because I know you'd probably like to move in August, but I see it happening more toward, I think we're looking at October. Even though this says it's 5, as in 5 weeks, it's also the 5 of Swords reversed, and it just feels like there's some issues that one or both of you need to work out before you're actually ready to cohabitate. So August might be a real good month to rip off some band-aids, discuss some dicey issues. You haven't discussed enough of the issues yet.
Okay, there you go, sweet baby girl. Talk it out. Janice wants to know how soon she'll be employed.
Well, I'm seeing the number 3. Let's see what the cards have to say. Well, they do say in August. So, August. That's 3 weeks.
All right. Next we have Tanya wants a general reading.
Okay, so what does Tanya need to know? Lovely, lovely Tanya. And Tanya was there too. It was so good to see her. Oh my goodness. Sometimes I forget what a fresh little face she has. She's one of the younger ones in our crowd. And we got to meet her young boys too. So what does Tanya need to know? Okay, Tanya, you got the 9 of Wands, but it's the 9 of Wands reversed. And anybody that reads the tarot knows the 9 of Wands is about kind of standing in one place and standing your ground and defending your position. But when it's reversed, it says, maybe this isn't a good time to defend your position. Maybe this is a good time for you to think of what's next. Okay, so don't be that guy that's standing all by himself in front of nine wands. Be the guy that puts one foot in front of the other and, moseys on up the road. This is a time not for you to defend what you have, but to go for what's out there.
Our next question comes from Mary Ann.
Hi,
She would
Mary
like
Ann.
a general reading.
Okay, so let's see what Mary Ann needs to know.
Right.
Okay, one card, Mary Ann. What does Mary Ann need to know? And you got the Three of Swords, and the Three of Swords is about heartache, but it's also about moving beyond heartache. The hurt's already been done, but it's saying that in some way, shape, or form, you're still kind of sticking in a state of hurt, and this is a good time for you to put one foot in front of the other. If you're hurting in the area of romance, then focus in on work. Whatever area you're hurting the most in, focus in on something else just to get your life moving forward.
Well, there you are, Mary Ann. Just a reminder, folks, all readings are for entertainment purposes only. If you would like a reading from Sally, send her an email at the address about to be on your screen. There we go. And the next question is from Penny Lane, who would also like a general reading.
Okay, so what does Penny Lane need to know? Okay, Penny Lane, the cards say, ooh, you've got judgment. The cards are telling me that some of the stuff that you... Okay, let me put it a different way. Some of the ships that you sent out there, some of the wishes that you put out to the universe are about ready to come back. This one is saying some of the things that you've been asking and wishing for are coming true. So good on you, Penny Lane. I think the next couple of months are going to be very challenging for you in a good way, because you get what you asked for.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, that's always good news. Next, we have Butterfly, who would like a love reading.
Ooh, love. Love for the butterfly. Well, yes, there is love, and it's traveling in fast. And I worry a little bit about that because it seems to me like right now you're trying to hang on to what you have love-wise. And this card is saying that the universe is bringing you something new, and it's bringing you something new fast. So just about, yeah, you might find yourself in a torn between two lovers situation in August.
Well, tough choices to make.
There are worse places to be if you know how to handle a situation.
That's right. And next we have Christina. Christina wants to know when her finances are going to get better.
Of course, I never did that, darling.
Did what?
Juggled two boyfriends at once. So did.
Sure. I believe that. Yeah.
Okay, Christina wants to know about her finances. Oh, I know. The pandemic has just been brutal on everybody's finances. Christina and finances. Yes. You've got, by the time the school year comes around, just when I see the Ace of Swords, I think about education. And of course, that starts in September. So that's giving me September. And there's something new, and there's something new coming out almost out of the blue. So good on you.
Perfect. Next we have Lisa Love, who wants to know why Barry isn't returning her calls. Will he contact her this week?
Oh, Lisa.
Why is Lisa being ghosted?
Okay, before I say that, sometimes, folks, I just got to say what's on my mind. Because I get a lot of, and the producer and I talk about this. We get a lot of people who ask, what does so-and-so think of me? And will so-and-so talk to me? And the trick here is that you need to reach out to that person. Okay? And usually feelings are two-way. If you feel attracted to somebody, a lot of times it's because that person is attracted to you. I mean, that's oversimplistic because relationships and human attractions is a very complicated topic. But generally speaking, if you're single and available and you're looking at somebody single and available and your heart is going, boo, 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 I like that guy, I like that one, I like that one, his heart's probably doing the same thing. A smile, a nod, a hello, how are you?
How about it better yet? Hey, would you like to go out on a date?
Yeah, women don't do that.
Yeah, you should. You really should.
Yeah. Anyhow,
So, Lisa Love wants to know about Barry. He isn't calling her back.
and then the part 2 of that is knowing your worth. Do not tolerate games.
All right, we are off topic here. We're talking about games now. She just wants a phone call.
Okay. I'm just saying that because I'm not liking the side of Barry. Okay. But then again, I'm doing a reading for you, and you're the one that. Oh. Okay. He'll get a hold of you this week.
For wrong reasons.
That's your take on the situation. Maybe that's exactly why she wants him to call.
Moving on.
All my students out there are laughing because they know what I have to say off camera about the Ace of Wands. That's why he's laughing too.
Amy Mia wants to know whether Alan thinks about her.
If you think about him, he probably thinks about you, darling. But let's take a look at it anyway. One card. Give me the Reader's Digest version of the situation. It's complicated. And not that I like to start trouble or something, but I think the problem with him is he's thinking about you, but he's also thinking about someone else. Because I'm getting 2 women here.
How many cups are overflowing there?
Well, that's the illusion delusion card.
Alcohol.
But it's always what draws your eyes, and the fact that there were 2 women's faces there is what drew my eyes and made my guides go, yeah, that's it.
Oh, Alan has beer goggles.
Something like that.
Okay, next we have Bonita.
Hi, Bonita.
She's looking for a love interest this year.
That's a good thing to look for. And if you are a positive, happy person, it's not that hard to find. After all, there are almost 8 billion people on Earth. Oh, look at that. It says, you got the high priestess, and the high priestess is someone who keeps her secrets, someone who plays her cards close to her chest. And I think that works out for you this year, Bonita. You come off as a little bit mysterious. Yeah, I think it wouldn't be too hard for you to find love, but always remember it's the cooler quality of you that attracts men. So don't be too sharing with them, and you should do just fine.
Lashika wants a general reading for the month of September.
What does Lashika need to know for September? September's a big month. A lot of people are starting back to work, to school, but also back to work because of the pandemic. So, the restrictions are being lifted.
Yeah. Back to school is a lot of different jobs, too.
Yeah.
Those bus drivers.
Yes. So, Lashika and September. What does she need to know? Okay. So, It says that in September. I think that it's one of those things where if you look at September just alone, there seems to be a lot of cash available for you, but this card is saying save your money. Save your money, and whatever you have, keep it close to your chest. Don't let people know how much you have, and don't spend it. This is that September's a month for you to be a bit of a miser.
There you go, Selena. No, wrong one.
Lashika.
Lashika. My mistake. Next we have Haunting Live.
Hi, Haunting Live.
Will we get jobs in September?
Oh, I know what this is about. Okay.
Somebody just can't wait to flee the region.
I know. I feel betrayed.
Well, give us an excuse to go traveling up north. How do you feel about an 18-hour car ride?
I plead the fifth.
Anyhow, getting
I
back
need a
to
couple fifths to get through it.
getting back to Haunting Live's job situation for
Job
September.
situation. Haunting Live and new opportunities September. New opportunities. Okay, it looks like you've got the Five of Swords, but it's the Five of Swords reversed. So the Five of Swords, it does talk about negative people and gossipy, backbitey, backstabby kind of people. But when you've got it reversed, it talks about you being able to get away from those people. So that is what the cards tell me most of all. In September, it does give you an opportunity to get away from some pretty negative people. So I'd say the job situation probably looks pretty good for you.
Okay, next we have Astrid.
Hi, Astrid. It's nice to see you.
May I know the reason why Samir Khan has never left me?
Okay, so yeah, and you ask about that every week, and
You always ask about the same guy. The questions change, but it's the same man.
well, yeah, but it's I understand that it's important for your future. Okay, so how about I ask this? Because you're asking a lot of different questions, but you're not finding out what you need to know. So I'm going to ask the cards, what does Astrid need to know about Samir? What do you need to know? What's the most important thing that you need to know? And the most important thing you need to know is, and again, it's the Five of Swords. This week is all about healing. And it's, personally, I'm not ready to give this guy any more time. But the cards say that he's been going through some stuff, and there's kind of a healing. It makes me wonder if maybe we've got pandemic damage or something like that. But it says give him 5 more weeks. It's basically saying he's healing, give him 5 more weeks. So give him 5 more weeks.
5 more weeks. Instead of 5 more hours of partying.
Yeah.
5 more weeks.
And let him have it.
And then so that gets you into September, at which point it's time to shackle him down.
Okay. How many people think I should give him a 1 over that?
I said shackle, not tie.
How many people think there's a difference?
The old ball and chain.
That's 2.
Versus what's your safe word?
Okay. So who's next?
Next you have Jocelyn, who would like to know when Auntie will unblock my number. She's been practicing manifestation and listening to manifestation frequency videos. I'm going to want to link to one of those, Jocelyn, because I want to see what that is.
So she wants to know when somebody's going to unblock her.
Her auntie.
Oh, her auntie. Usually when family blocks you, it's a pretty stubborn situation. Let's see what the Lenormand, pulled out the maybe Lenormand, And I know I've gotten a lot of positive feedback. A lot of you guys like this. Okay, let's see. Auntie. What can you tell me about Auntie? Uh-huh. Okay. So you do have the Nine of Hearts, so it does say September. But it's kind of showing me a little something about your auntie. This is kind of a thing of pride. It makes me think that maybe the reason she blocked you, well, I know you get told when people block you, but it feels like she's kind of bragging about it. Like this is something she did to really get to you. And so she's rubbing it in. So don't say a word. Not a word. You want her to unblock you? Don't give her any response, because she's trying to get a rise out of you, and in a mean kind of way. I don't know what her problem is.
I don't either, but it's not my life. Hey, you know what we can do right now? Why don't we tell everybody about Ghost of the Queen's Inn?
The Ghost of the Queen's Inn.
October
Oh my!
29th and 30th. We got some great fun stuff happening in Stratford at the Queen's Inn Hotel. Sally will tell you all the rest.
Okay, now this is going to be a 2-day event. It's $140. You can get tickets at Haunting Live Podcast website, and it includes a dinner on Friday night, followed by speeches. There'll be the Haunting Live Podcast guys will be talking about their experiences and the equipment they work with in paranormal investigations. And of course, you'll have your queen here, and I'll be telling you all about the ghosts of the queens and my run-ins with them. Also, we will have a very special guest speaker, Mary Ann Kennedy from the Ghosts of Dufferin County Live. And she'll be talking about her experiences as a medium. Later on that night, for all of those who are staying at the Queen's Inn, we're going to have a pajama party. And we're all going to be in our pajamas. And I will be giving out mini readings for everybody there. And so will Chris. So we'll be in our pajamas, and you will be too. Then on Saturday, it's a day of workshops. There'll be a workshop on how to read playing cards taught by yours truly. There'll be a workshop on mediumship taught by Mary Ann Kennedy. And Chris from Haunting Live Podcast will be giving a workshop on how to get in touch with your angels. Then we'll have a break for dinner. And Stratford's a lovely city, so we'll give you a couple of hours just to explore Stratford, and has many nice restaurants and a lot of dining al fresco, so I'm sure you'll like that. Well, not in October, but a lot of nice restaurants, or the Boar's Head. And then...
It's also a nice restaurant.
Very nice restaurant. We eat there all the time. And then we're going to wind it up with a tour of some of the more haunted rooms, and we'll get to use all the equipment that the Haunting Live Podcast guys have. The last time when we were in the Pinckney Suite, they had what was called a Frankenbox. And this happens every time in the Pinckney Suite. Because I work there as well, and it's haunted by Mr. Pinckney, who was one of the very long-time owners. Every time I'm in there, the Frankenbox just goes, work. I'll tell you, Pinckney's a slave driver. But anyhow, speaking of the talking to the ghosts of the queens, after we get done with the ghost tours, we're going to sit down with a seance with your queen, and my producer will be the moderator.
Bouncer.
Yeah, the bouncer, sure. And we'll see if we can't get in touch with the spirit of Elsie Deal. And Elsie Deal, I'll talk about her in the speech. I have had personal experience with Elsie Deal. I saw her as a full-on apparition, full color. It was awesome. Anyhow, I hope all of you decide to come. It was so much fun last time, and I know it's going to be even more fun this time. So anybody interested, go to Haunting Live Podcast website and find out more about the Ghosts of Queens event.
Wonderful. Carrying on back to the rest of the show. SR Kish wants to know about Wants to know about the next 2 weeks. Apparently, the question was from last week. We had already answered it.
Oh my goodness.
So,
Okay.
Susanne, did she answer it right?
Okay, so what do you need to know most for the next 2 weeks? Let's see what the Leanermon has to say. Okay, the maybe Leanermon. Okay, so what you got is you've got the Seven of Hearts. So this is the next, at least the next week is going to be a bit emotional. And you've got the trees here. And the trees talk about obstacles. It doesn't mean that there isn't a clear path. Well, have you heard the phrase "can't see the forest for the trees"? It's one of those things. It seems like all the little short-term things in front of you are going to keep you from being able to kind of clearly see your goal. So I do see, at least for the first week, a lot of obstacles and dealing with a lot of, it feels, I'm just getting paperwork, a lot of paperwork for the next week. So I know you asked for 2, but they're showing me the next week is having a lot of obstacles. And beyond the, once you get past obstacles, I would imagine that week 2 will be free and clear. So deal with whatever week 1 throws at you, deal with it quickly and move on.
Yes, speaking of moving on, Bobby wants messages.
What kind of message? Now, I picked up this desert rose, and
If you put it down,
it's a form of selenite, and it's in a plated kind of a configuration, so they looks like roses, and that's why it's called the desert rose. And they actually dig these up literally in the desert, in the sand. But anyhow, that's neither here nor there. I like to use this just to kind of open up channels a little bit more. And since Bobby wanted a message, I thought maybe I'd open myself up a little bit more. And we're going to shuffle the Leanermon. And I'm going to trust. Okay. Message for Bobby. Okay, and you have a female who's reaching through and sending a message of love. So she's talking to you about your confidence. Because she keeps saying, "Remember you are loved. Remember you are loved." So that's kind of a confidence issue. So if you're feeling lonely, or if you're feeling like you're not as good as everybody else for whatever reason, get back to that message, because this is from somebody who's passed, and it's a woman, it's an older woman, and she wants you to always remember that you are loved first and foremost. So don't let anybody gaslight you, don't let anybody put you down. And anybody who would speak negatively about you, turn your back on them. Okay, so that was your message.
Okay, well, don't get much better than that as far as messages go. Here you are. Our next question is from Pallavi.
Hello.
When will I get the true love of my life, and how would he be?
Okay.
It doesn't have to be your one true love. It just has to be somebody you love right now.
Well, and I was going to put that a little bit differently. You can't mold somebody else, but you can mold yourself. And so think about the kind of person you would want to be your true love, and make yourself the person the kind of person that person would want. Okay, so anyhow, love, love, love. What's the love message? Okay, so you've got the Five of Swords. The Five of Spades. And the Five of Spades is grounding, and that's different than swords. But it also talks about a lot of travel. So it says that you've kind of got about 5 years worth of travel in front of you before you actually settle down. You know, and I know you want love and you want to settle down, but this card says life wants to offer you adventure first. Adventure's good.
Well, that is actually the last question as far as I can
Oh, we
tell.
do have.
If I missed anybody, please retype your question right now.
Yes, and I want to tell everybody how they can get an in-person reading with your queen, Sally Diane. I am back at the spa doing in-person readings, and I offer 25-minute, 55-minute, and 75-minute readings. The 55 is my most popular reading, and when we're in person, my readings usually start out with a palm reading, and then I move on to the tarot, and then it can be a variety of things. I might go to the runes, I might do the crystals. I always like to do the crystals at one point or another because I have this bowl, it's a candy bowl full of all kinds of different crystals, and you dig in and you pull them out one at a time and you put them in front of the table. And then I interpret what they mean, so it's part of your reading, and I talk about them one by one, and then at the end of it, but don't tell anybody, this is a secret, at the end of it, I let you pick one to keep. So I always try and make sure that we get at least a little crystal reading with each reading. And I also sometimes do the runes, and sometimes it's just playing what I get from you with nothing in front of me. But if you want a reading in person, one of those readings, just give the spa at the tracks a call, 519-273.
I have never called, so I wouldn't know.
Because I think it's 273-1293.
Okay. I don't know.
But that's okay. When the producer uploads this, he'll make sure to add that right to the end of it. So it will be at the end of this clip on YouTube afterwards, if you replay it.
No.
If you want to read it in person, send me an email at thequeenofoogaboga@gmail.com, and I'll help you make the appointment.
Okay, so Jocelyn,
Hi, Jocelyn.
the one you just gave a reading to about her auntie, has a follow-up.
Okay.
If I sent a message to my auntie in a dream, would it give her courage to call me? Jocelyn didn't listen to her reading.
Oh, yeah, it's not about your auntie having courage. Your auntie is being braggadocious. Your auntie is being unkind. And your auntie is kind of bragging to other people. You know, it showed her as being kind of up on her high horse with her nose in the air. So I'm not too impressed with her. I don't think that you should feel obligated to reach out to her. I think that you might want to talk to other members of your family as to what she has said to them and make your decision based on that. But I'm going to see what the cards have to say. Give you one more card. Yeah. It says she's a bear. Yeah. If you call her that, you're just feeding her pride.
Well, you know what it's time for now.
Yes, I do. What time is it?
It is 9:55.
9:55.
And it is time for 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, indeed. Now, I use these cards. They are the crystal cards, and we shuffle them up, and then we select 3, and I will hold them up, and you get to pick one. And that will be your message for the week. Okay, so we'll start out with this one, and this one, and this one. Okay, so, and you have 1, you have 2, and you have 3. So I want you to, right now, pick the one that you are most attracted to. Card number 1, card number 2, or card number 3. Okay, you ready? So those of you who pick card number 1, You picked kyanite. And kyanite is a very lovely mineral. It's one of the two that never need to be cleaned. As a matter of fact, it cleans. It's good for repelling and cleaning negativity. So that's what I like the most about kyanite. And what this says this week is to not accept negativity. You have protection around you, and you have good communication around you. So this is not a time for you to let anybody be negative towards you. You've got protection. And of course, the light blue always talks about the communication because it's associated with the throat chakra. Those of you who picked card number 2 picked malachite. And the word for malachite, it says empower. Now I like malachite. It kind of works on 2 levels because it's got the green, so it's energizing, it's growth, it's prosperity. It does attract money, but it's also got the black, so it also grounds as well. I find that malachite is a really good writer's stone. And if you're having a problem putting your words together, it's good to hold a piece of malachite. Or if you're writing something, whether it's an essay or anything, it's good to keep a piece of malachite by the computer. And for those of you who drew card number 2, this week is going to be a week for your creativity, and you're going to find yourself very creative, but it's going to be in areas that you do best. It's kind of like this is your week to shine, because the universe is going to just basically hand you things that you automatically do well. So be all that in a bag of chips this week, number 2. Now, those of you who picked number 3, what you picked is mandala. And the mandala it's a combination of crystals laid out, but it talks about power. And this is a good power week for you. But the thing with mandala is it's always organized. This says that make sure that you think things through, write it down, practice it, check, double check, but then move forward, because this is a power week for you. No dithering, no indecision, but be clear, be organized. And you should be able to achieve quite a bit. Okay, thank you everybody for tuning in. Again, anybody who would like to see me, contact the spa near the tracks to make an appointment for the reading, or send me an email and I'll make sure that you get the contact information for the spa near the tracks. Okay, and I hope to see all of you at the Ghost of Queens event in October. And I also hope to see everybody back next week for another episode of Psychic Sundays Live. Was that your...
Oh, no, I can do that. Go for it, because I have one more message.
And now, a message from our producer.
Jocelyn, just because you don't like the answer doesn't mean it's not right. You have to wait for your aunt to call her. Quit trying to force it. The end. Well, folks, that brings us to another conclusion of Psychic Sundays Live with your host, the Queen of Booga Booga, Psychic Sally Diane, and myself, the producer. We'll see you again next Sunday. And if you want to send Sally an email, the email address is on the screen. And if you want a reading from Sally, the email address is on the screen. And if you want a reading in person from Sally, the email address is on the screen. Good night, folks. Have a good week. Bye-bye.